wants to view it, Lynn. There we go. Okay. That made perfect sense. Okay. All right. So if you have your lesson number 1 with you, the sheet right here, that's where we're going to start. We're going to do a little work right now. And we're going to just follow the directions. As on the staff below, you will find line and space notes mixed together. If the note is on a line, mark L. If it's in a space, then you're going to write an S on those little dotted lines there. So go ahead and do that and just follow the directions, and probably do maybe about 2 lines or so. And the rest you can finish at home. Well, you are home, but you can do it later. I'm used to teaching a class in person. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay, so that was easy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so like I said, this is really important. So let's go ahead and we're going to look at the sheet for lesson 2. This is going to reinforce what we just learned with the video. This is the number names of line and space notes. It's important because we read music. Now, this is going to be opposite of math, from the bottom up. From the bottom up.
It's new math.
You're learning, well, you can call it new math. Actually, you're learning a language.
Yeah.
This is learning a language, a universal language. Okay, so you can go ahead and start there and just follow the directions, write the number names under the following line spaces so you know the number of the lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and complete that, and then you can go down to the bottom half and do the spaces. And then let me know when you're ready.
I'm done, Vicki.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
most
me
of
too.
you, most of you are about finished.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. All right, so everybody understands everything so far, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go to lesson 3. Like this is really, it's easy stuff, but it's simple. So let's go ahead and do lesson number 3. Now you're gonna actually draw a note. And what you're gonna draw is a whole note. And that's what you see there in your example. You see a whole note. So if it's a line note, the line has to run through the middle. If it's a space note, it sits between the lines. So we're going to do line notes and then space notes. And then the bottom half again, you can finish, later. Okay, if anybody's done, I'd like to see some of your work here, just to make sure that you're understanding what you're doing.
Okay.
You can just kind of stick it up to the camera a little bit.
Okay.
All right, looks like Kathy's ready.
Yeah. I think I got this pretty good.
Okay, so far it looks pretty good.
I don't know if you can see it because I used a pencil.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
It looks good. Okay.
Okay.
And Mary, I can't see yours, but
I know, but I can tell you it's perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
and you can,
Perfect.
and again, you can finish the leftovers at, at a later time. The difference is the bottom half of your sheet now is just a mix. It's just lines and spaces mixed up. That's it.
Okay.
So now we're going to go to lesson 4, and I really wanted to get to treble clef tonight. So, did you print out staff paper? If not, you can just draw right on here. And I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do, I have Jack's whiteboard. So he doesn't need it anymore. So I'm going to try and show you the easiest way to make a treble clef. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, you're going to make a J. Can you see that?
J.
Yeah.
You're going to make a J.
Okay.
It's hard for, now I'm getting reflection here. Kind of weird. I put the hook on it. You don't have to, but I mean, not the hook, but that little thing. You make the line, make the J, and then now, if you look at the top of your page in lesson 4,
Yeah.
they give you nice instructions there how to do that. And I'd like you to, you don't have to draw a 10, but make a good attempt to do about 5 of them anyway. So this is the treble, or the G clef is another name for that. And the G clef evolved from the old G letter.
Oh,
I'm not sure, and I'm assuming that it was Old English. That's where it came from.
Try that again.
Go ahead and do that, and then we're going to talk about lines.
That's better.
Really?
I'll get it.
Would you please? Oh, I see who it is. I hold on a second.
Time's up.
Yeah, it's a student. Hang on. Never mind. It was Jean Lausch.
yeah, I see she's off this.
Yeah, she disappeared. So I guess she was trying to call me. So not sure what happened.
How come my G clefs don't look as good as the ones in the drawing above?
Okay, so the important thing is, though, when you're drawing that, it has to wrap around that second line. And that's going to be your G line.
Yeah, the second one.
This is exactly what you have here. All right, everybody done drawing their little G clefs, or are you still working on it?
Well, it's good. I don't know how good it is, but
I'm done, but
Getting better.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take a look at your artwork.
I'm just gonna show you the last one.
Okay.
Getting better.
oh, I think that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well,
Pretty
you
good.
didn't see- You didn't see the first one, so I didn't let you see those.
Hey, I've been teaching kids for 30 years.
that's
You're
good.
not going to surprise me. Oh, those
what
look good.
about old people?
So the only thing I want you to do, I want you to draw one more, and I just want to explain something here, okay? Right here is your G line. Your second line is G. So I want you to make sure that that wraps around that G line. Just
When you say
like
wrap around, you mean that curl that comes
it'll
down.
curl around. Yes,
The
it'll
G
curl
line.
around that G line. That's really
Okay.
important.
Okay. The third line.
Mhm.
Just do one more. Bass clef is a lot easier. The G clef is a little difficult.
A little better.
A little better.
Better? Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's good. That's good.
A little better.
Yeah, okay. All right, so everybody have a look at the middle of the page there. So now, I'm sure most of you remember this probably from grade school. Every good boy does fine.
Yes. you do
Okay.
that.
You may use whatever acronym you like. Ernie gave Bert dog food. I like that one. This one has every good bird does fly. Or you can be creative and make up one yourself.
Well, they had to
Whatever.
get rid of the boy because that was sexist, so they had to
I
change it
guess.
to bird.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Probably right. I'm probably right about that.
Yeah, more than likely. But I like Ernie gave Bert dog food. I think that's really cool.
Ernie gave what? Ernie gave
Ernie gave Bert
Bert
dog food.
That's funny. That's
Well,
good.
George buys
that comes
donuts
from teaching elementary.
Yeah, Ernie gave Bert dog food. That's good.
It's easy to remember. So
Even George
the
buys donuts Friday.
hey, whatever acronym works for you, that sticks. Here's
What did
where
you
it's
say,
got to
Al?
stick.
What'd you say, Alan?
Even George buys donuts Fridays.
Well, I like donuts. I'm liable to remember that one.
I'm gonna stick to every good boy does fine because that's how I learned it.
Good for you, Mary.
Okay. All right. So whatever works for you is, I don't care what it is. Make one up, anything, but you're going to have to memorize it. Next week, we're going to work a little bit more on the spaces. Do you remember? Now, I didn't give you lesson 5 yet. That's going to be the spaces. Do you remember the names of the spaces?
Mhm.
What word it spells?
Is it
Face.
F-A-C-E,
Right,
face?
face.
Space.
Face.
That's
From
what I
the
remember.
bottom, from the bottom space up. F is
Yeah.
the first space. So that's what I said, reading music, and this is really, really important. It's read from the bottom up. Okay? So now you have just a little bit of homework. I'd like you to memorize the names of the lines. I think the spaces are going to be easy because next week we're going to do flashcards.
Oh, boy.
I have
Pressure.
Really? I haven't done homework in years.
Vicky, I really like this class because, I mean, it is simple. Carl Tobias had a music class for beginners, and I thought I was in like college. I had no idea what he was talking about. So this is really great because it helps you just really start at the beginning.
Well, I've got an ed degree, and I've been doing this forever. The secret is to just break it into small steps.
Mhm.
That's it. And
Thank
then it's not overwhelming. I don't want it to be overwhelming, but that's why I gave you that little bit of historical input in the beginning. And maybe, you don't care about that. And if you want the link to the Gregorian chant, by the way, is one of the best ways to meditate. It's absolutely beautiful. And you can find your own on YouTube, Gregorian chant.
If you think of it, if you could email that hand, I would love to see. I have seen that before, but
Yeah, I downloaded it onto a document. I have it in my books, but it's hard to scan anything out of books. I mean, I have about 6 music history books, from Millersville, but I also have another one. Maybe I'll take a screen. Maybe I'll take a shot of it from my camera. When I love history. I wanted to get my master's in music history, but God didn't think it was a good idea, and neither did Tom Hauser. So,
well, you can still study it.
well, I was too broke and too old.
No
Never
such
too
thing.
old. Never
Right.
too old.
Well, 45 I was. It was too broke. So it didn't. I was going to go get my master's in music history, but anyway, I'll have to take a screenshot or something. I have some nice things in some of my books, but what some of the early church music looked like.
Mhm.
I mean, if you think 5 lines and spaces is fun, they had like 10,
Well,
and it was all over the place. I mean, the notes were just placed here, and they had to, the monks, that's what they studied. They learned how to do that. Of course, they had all kinds of time in their hands, didn't they? They did the illumination, that goes back to the, what,
Yeah,
600s, 700s?
they didn't have the
They
internet.
had time on their hands.
Yeah, they did all kinds of cool things. So, does anybody have any questions?
Is there going to be a quiz next week?
No, you're gonna have flashcards, but there will be,
okay.
there's gonna be pressure coming up. Honestly, this is gonna be the easy part, where the rubber hits the road.
Uh-oh.
Where the rubber is gonna hit the road is when we get into note durations and counting,
Oh, okay.
time
Okay.
signatures. That's when you're gonna go, oh my God.
Well, you're easing us
Oh,
into it. That's good. You're easing us into it. That's great.
Well,
That
this
is
is,
good,
yeah,
yes.
this is the easy stuff. And then I have different ways how to teach that too. I just, my expectations is to learn some basic things, really to learn to read notes, particularly notes that are on the staff.
Mhm.
And we'll do a little bit of bass clef too. So some of you may not care for that so much, but
Well,
we'll do it. We'll do some bass clef.
Sounds
okay.
great.
Yeah, it
Because,
does.
well, some bell ringers read bass clef. So
Yes.
you're all good with your homework. You, by next week, you're gonna memorize. Oh, I am gonna test you on the
Okay.
spot next week
Sorry I asked.
with the lines. And if you're good students, you might learn the spaces. I do this with every student that I teach. I have a particular way how to do it aside of flashcards, and it's a quick way to learn it, and it just makes you think on your feet. So,
Good.
Great.
or you're sitting on now, but you know what I'm saying,
Whatever it is you're thinking with, right? Yeah.
right? Right. Okay, so no questions. Everybody knows what they're doing.
So far.
Thank you for doing this.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
thank
you're
you.
welcome. So this was
Great.
easy. So
Yeah.
when we get back to choir and bells, you'll know how to read music.
Yay.
Woo.
Such a long time for me.
I can imagine, I didn't know Carl real well, but I can imagine how he taught music because
Oh my gosh.
it was fast and furious, right?
Well, it was very complicated, and I think he passed me. It was his summer music class, and I think I got a D- or something. But he passed me. I have high hopes that I can get through this one because I think you're at my level here.
We'll
I
all
said it.
help you out. We're all at the same place.
I said it's going to be from the ground up. So, and that's where we are.
That's the
But-
best way to do it.
Yep, it
But
is.
really, if you don't have the understanding of what we just did this evening, how to read from the bottom up, these are the spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the lines, and then 4 spaces. And when we start layering, then it's gonna say, oh, okay, I get that now, it makes sense. Then if it makes sense, you'll learn it a lot faster and you'll get a lot more out of it. It's not gonna look, when you look at a piece of music, it's not gonna look like clutter.
Because you'll be able to understand, start from the ground up. You'll see the lines and spaces, and then you start from the foundation up.
Right, because now when I read music, this is me. Now, right, I'm a trained musician and everything. I read, my brain sees chords. So when I look at anything, that's how my brain automatically analyzes everything. But don't worry, you don't need to do that.
Not yet.
That's good.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank
We'll
you.
do this
Thank
again
you.
next week.
Thank you,
Have a good-
Vicki.
We'll
Bye.
see you all Sunday. I
Bye.
guess.
Bye.
right.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Good night.